Oh boy, I can't wait to buy CRISPR-Cas9 to genetically modify the rats living in my basement.
FBI, open up! You.
Yo, whoa,
Bro,
what'd I do?
You're
What'd I
under
do?
arrest. Put your hands behind your back.
Bro,
You're under
for
arrest
what?
bioterrorism. Be
What?
quiet. Pete, we're gonna have a chat. Time to be interrogated.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Alright, so you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. Do you understand that? Alright, so with that said, now let's get into why you are here today. The reason you are here today is because of the unethical consequences of using CRISPR-Cas9 technology. Okay?
What's unethical of what I was doing?
Because the issue is that DIY genetic modification kits can be misused by individuals such as yourself or rogue terrorist groups or any other big organizations, such as in 2018, a Chinese scientist illegally edited embryos to make them resistant to HIV and also violated ethical and scientific norms. Now, do you want to be put in that same bucket?
I'm just trying to modify rats. I'm not trying to modify no embryos.
It does not matter. Editing human subjects without full knowledge violates the risks and medical ethics. Now, also, using vulnerable populations for risky gene editing experiments is also illegal in the eyes of the U.S. law. Did you know that?
So rats are vulnerable populations?
But what is your intended purpose?
I just want to modify the rats in my basement. I want to apply what I learned at Columbia University.
Do you understand that these long-term effects could lead to unforeseen genetic disorders or ecological disruptions within that mice population? Do you have any idea what can happen if one of those rats gets into our clean and rat-free subway system? You have no idea what kind of effects can happen as a result of that, especially creating a whole new ecosystem within that subway system that can then spread other diseases and infections. Then what can happen? Didn't think so, huh? Don't be a tough guy. So, the ability to select ideal traits could lead to modern forms of eugenics, reinforcing also discrimination within different groups.
So I'm doing eugenics in rats.
Yeah, that's a problem. You know, they can't defend themselves. Now, editing these genes specifically will not only violate ethical and scientific norms, it also violates their norms, animal norms as well, because they have rights too. Did you know that?
They're rats.
And they're still animals, living souls. For that reason, you're being placed under arrest. Do you understand?
I'm not a bioterrorist. There's people out there that can edit embryos, that can make, super diseases, super bacteria that are resistant to antibiotics. I'm just playing around with CRISPR in my basement.
Yeah, but there's so many issues with that. It can lead to a multitude of concerns, bioethically as well as scientifically. Do you understand?
So what do you suggest we should do about it?
What I'm suggesting is that if you really want a CRISPR-Cas9 kit, you can go get one through a scientific approved third-party source and not a third-party vendor that's going to sell you a DIY kit yourself at home.
I was getting it from Thermo Fisher.
Are you sure you weren't on the dark web, son? Right. You remember I did say anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, right?
I'm cooked.
Yes, you are. So, for that reason, I want to also acknowledge that your innocence in this, that you quote unquote don't necessarily know what you're going to do. However, we are going to be placing you on an FBI watch list. And this means that if you continue to get these DIY kits, we will be monitoring every single move. Now, do you want the FBI knocking on your door every day, son?
No, sir.
Right. So, what did you learn?
I learned that modifying rats is unethical.
But beyond the modification of rats.
Because it not only is it dangerous for me to be playing with CRISPR, but the fact that the availability of DIY kits is so widespread that anyone can use it for evil, unethical purposes.
Exactly.
So how can this be fixed? Like, should there be like laws passed or what?
Yes. Unfortunately, the U.S. Penal Code does not necessarily give viable evidence in regards to necessarily how to attack this topic. However, we got to still follow the law, and the law states that there's too many concerns with what you're doing and too much ambiguity. So for that reason, we're placing you under a watch list, but most definitely, there should be certain laws that are put in place to prevent you from what you're doing in the event that this technology falls in the wrong hands.
So what if I were part of a research lab or a hospital that wants to use CRISPR for medical
That's
purposes?
different. But you're going to be buying it and shipping it to your house. You'd be buying it and shipping it to the hospital, right?
So should it be limited only to hospitals and research labs?
Yes, absolutely. To avoid more ethical concerns. You don't want to be like in 2018, the Chinese scientists who illegally edited those embryos, right? And violated ethical and scientific norms, right? So there we go. Glad that you learned something, and hopefully you don't continue to do this. So for that reason, I'll be uncuffing you at the same time.